The Breeders' Cup Classic. At $5 million, the Classic is the richest horse race in North America.
It all started with Wild Again at Hollywood Park and Pat Day back in 1984. Last year it was Blame winning perhaps the most thrilling Classic ever, when the whole country was watching to see if Zenyatta could remain undefeated. And this year it is a good-looking field that includes Flat Out now at 7-2, who won a Breeders' Cup Challenge race to get into this Classic. So You Think is the import, who's been well-traveled, and that includes Aiden O'Brien, who's already had himself a big day. Game On Dude and Chantel Sutherland, one of our major storylines, a female jockey. She looks to make history, and a lot of attention to the filly, Havre de Grace, as well as Uncle Mo and his comeback story that continues. And aerial coverage today is brought to you by Emirates Airline. Good look at the track that they will be going 1.25 miles on, the Classic distance, home to the Kentucky Derby, and now for the second straight year, home to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Joe Tessitore alongside Randy Moss, and a 5-time winner of this race, the Breeders' Cup Classic, Jerry Bailey. You had the biggest payoff ever in Breeders' Cup history with Kong. Are we in store for something with a long shot today, or will it be one of these major storylines that gets delivered?
No, I think there's several horses that aren't the marquee horses that probably could win this race. I mean, it's deep. You know, what can I tell you? But if I was a jockey riding this race today, I would be convinced through the middle portion of the day that the inside speed is not good. Now, Hansen did disprove my theory a little bit, but I think the jockey that can tweak his running style just a little bit to come from out of it, it's going to be the guy that wins of the horses that are contending. And of those, it's probably Flat Out. You know, he has the choice of laying a little closer, laying a little farther back, and timing his move a little different. Uncle Mo doesn't have that choice. Even Havre de Grace doesn't have that choice. She needs to move a little bit early.
Whether we get a wacky outcome like we saw with Court Vision might have a lot to do with the pace in this race. If this turns out to be an extraordinarily fast pace in which you see a meltdown like we see in the Kentucky Derby sometimes, a lot of different things could happen with horses coming from well off the pace at a big price.
A beautiful scene you just saw moments ago there with Larry Jones and Havre de Grace, his 4-year-old filly, with the sun setting, just cresting off to the west side of Louisville here. Havre de Grace won the Woodward against males up at Saratoga, and would join Zenyatta as the only filly to win the Classic. She is the leader in the clubhouse right now for Horse of the Year. Horse of the Year very much on the line. We got probably 4 horses that you can say clear-cut with a win today. You'd feel good of terming them that. And there is Flat Out, who won the Jockey Club Gold Cup back on October 1st.
He was on the cover of the Louisville Courier-Journal's Breeders' Cup section as the local horse. He's been based in Kentucky for a while, and of course his trainer, the 70-year-old Charles L. Scooter Dickey, has become a bit of a mini celebrity around here this week.
Janine is standing by with Todd Pletcher. Janine.
Yeah, Todd is just rounding up his 2 horses here. Todd, this walkover for Uncle Mo in particular is a walk that could have happened 6 months ago and didn't. Was there ever a point where you thought he might not race again?
Well, when he left here and we had to scratch from the Derby, we weren't sure what was wrong with him. We knew that he wasn't right and he'd lost a lot of weight and wasn't himself. But until we got a firm diagnosis, we just had no idea what it might have been.
And for Stay Thirsty, what did you make of his race in the Jockey Club Gold Cup?
I thought it was good. You know, we're hoping for the Blame angle. Maybe don't run quite as good there and then come back with a big one here.
Thanks, Todd. Good luck.
Todd Pletcher, who will be saddling Mike Rapoli's 2 starters, Stay Thirsty and Uncle Mo.
And Todd was referring to last year's winner, Blame, who had a bit of a subpar performance for him in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and of course then rebounded from that here at Churchill Downs to upset Zenyatta.
And the biggest reason he beat Zenyatta is he was more tactical. You know, his jockey Garrett Gomez could put him, you know, in the middle of the race wherever he wanted to, and Zenyatta had to come from way back. So it's a tactical aspect that really helps the horse.
One of the feel-good stories that you'll learn more about is Scooter Dickey, the trainer of Flat Out, is with Caton.
Scooter, you said it took 70 years to get a horse like this and make this walk. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, He's walking good. I'm feeling pretty good.
You've been talking all week about how good the horse is trained over the track. Little different conditions today. Any concerns about that or the inside post?
No, I think the track's really going to be pretty good right now, and I think he'll take to it. I think he'll like it.
What instructions will you give to Alex?
We've talked about it, and Alex been watching the races, and we'll probably kind of talk it over in the paddock. He'll give his points what he thinks, and we'll decide then.
And finally, what's it feel like to know how many people are cheering for you right now?
Huh?
What's it feel like to know these people are cheering for you right now?
That feels good.
May be as speechless after the race. We wish you good luck, Scooter.
Thank you.
Joe?
Have to understand where that man is coming from. 70 years and just getting finally to this top level of success here now. Janine?
I'm here with Larry Jones. Larry, back in the spring, you told Havre de Grace's owner, Rick Porter, that you thought Horse of the Year should be the goal for this filly. Where was that confidence coming from?
Well, just seeing what an amazing animal she was. She's just so big and strong and so athletic and got the demeanor for all of this. We just felt like she was that kind. You know she's special. When you fool with this many horses, you know when you see a special one.
Now, when you left the barn with her and as you're walking now, what kind of thoughts go through your mind? What kind of mental checklist are you going through?
Well, thank goodness this is something we do every day just in normal races, and we try to look at this as just your everyday run-of-the-mill $5 million championship race. So here we go.
A little Friday afternoon contest.
Yes. So, but no, we're ready. She's been telling me for 2 weeks she's ready to go. We've just been trying to make sure we keep the feet down and the back up, and we're here and with no incidences, and we're ready to go.
What do you see from her right now? Because she just looks so calm as she's just taking all this in.
She has a lot of confidence. You know, she doesn't get upset. She kind of looks it over, and, you know, she feels the same way. I've been here before, and it usually goes in her favor. So there's no reason for her to be upset.
Good luck, Larry. And guys, as you know, Larry's been here before as well, and we'll get more into that in a few minutes.
We sure will. There's going to be a lot of emotion attached to that thought for Larry Jones. Just a run-of-the-mill $5 million race. And there is flat out. Scooter Dickey was kind enough to spend time with us moments ago, and now we're joined by the jock, Alex Solis. Alex, what are you thinking in these moments just before a Breeders' Cup Classic?
We're just going over the race again, and just hopefully that speed develop, and hope we get a good trip.
Alex, you won this race. You won the Classic in 2003 on Pleasantly Perfect. So you're no stranger to this moment. But you are nearer the end of your career than you were then. How does that make you feel, you know, taking it all in? You know, a lot of guys might not ever get this chance again. How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm very grateful to God and to Mr. Preston and Scooter Dicker. They give me a chance on this horse, and I'm just flattered this stage of my career and doing something that I love and you know, being riding these kind of races and kind of horse.
Okay, so pertinent to the race. What is the most important aspect of this race for your horse? What's critical to you?
Well, obviously, it's like I said, you know, hopefully we get a good pace in front of us and have a good trip. If that doesn't develop either way, and then just, you know, you run many races after that, if plan A or B doesn't turn out like you want it to, you just got to improvise.
Okay.
And that's where my experience come in handy.
Well, you certainly have enough of it. Good luck, Alex. Thanks for joining us.
Alex Solis will be on Flat Out. The filly Havre de Grace with trainer Larry Jones 3 years ago. Everyone on this crew was here trackside covering the Derby when the filly 8 Bells was tragically lost. And for trainer Larry Jones and the owner Rick Porter, it was a moment of broken hearts. 8 Bells greatly affected both men. But now another brilliant filly that you saw right there has brought them back to Churchill's big stage. Chris Connolly tells us more.
A few days before the 2008 Kentucky Derby, this was trainer Larry Jones.
Okay, baby.
Riding the magnificent filly 8 Bells.
Hey, Larry, the 8 Bells, pull up anytime. There you go. There you go, sweetheart.
On Derby Day, in the stretch, she tried to catch favored Big Brown.
It is Big Brown by 5 on the wire. The
second.
We watched her gallop out and start around the turn, and then we started going down to pick her up. And I was maybe one of the very last to know what had happened.
What came next was a tableau of horror. Pulling up, 8 Bells had shattered her front ankles. As doctors arrived, her agony was unmistakable.
And then I saw the sheet up, and you know, I knew it was a disaster.
It was absolutely like losing one of your children. You could not have felt worse in any kind of way.
The only way we could get back to the barns, you know, we were going to have to walk, so we took the reverse walk. Most people walk over with the horse. We had to walk back, and you know, it was very emotional.
The pain was augmented by nationwide outrage and fierce accusations. But 8 Bells would test negative for steroids and banned substances.
We got a lot of hate mail. Everybody thinking that we were abusing the horse, that all kinds of bad things. Misconception of maybe what we had done and what we didn't do.
Close your eyes and tell me what your favorite image of her is.
Probably the last gallop, and I'll remember that forever. She was special.
In 2009, stressed from overwork and health issues, Larry Jones shocked the sport by announcing his retirement. 12 months of time off brought a full recovery and a request from Rick Porter to train another filly, Havre de Grace. So back he came.
She said, "You need a big kiss." That close enough? This, to me, is the first time I have ever had a horse that I consider a perfect horse. She likes attention. She doesn't demand attention. She's special. She'll be the most special horse I've ever been around or will ever be around, I'm sure. She's just a once-in-a-lifetime horse.
Once again, it was a filly against the fellas, this time with a new ending. Havre de Grace's big win in the Woodward set her up for the Classic back at Churchill Downs.
We know there's some good boys out there, but I don't want to trade horses with anybody. Time to go to work. Time to go to work. Here we go. This isn't a job for me. This is a labor of love. This is something that you would do for free if you didn't need money to get by in this world. No playing, I mean it. Nope, nope, nope. Be good.
Referred to 8 Bells as sweetheart, refers to Havre de Grace as perfect.
When he retired briefly, anyone who knew Larry Jones knew that it would only be very temporary because of his love for the horses. He's glad he came back even before Havre de Grace, and now he's ecstatic about it.
You know, he gets on his own horses, even though he's about 170 or 180 pounds, and sometimes I think he's part horse himself.
So Havre de Grace preparing for the Breeders' Cup Classic, and Mike Rapoli, the character of characters, as you probably learned earlier if you watched our feature. He says success is best when shared. You see that group right behind him, everybody in blue with orange ties. Over 50 family and friends that he brought to Louisville to see Stay Thirsty and Uncle Mo, his 2 3-year-olds. And then there is Scooter Dickey, the 70-year-old Scooter Dickey, finally seeing his dreams come true. He started training in 1963, didn't win his first graded stakes race until this year with his horse in the Classic. Flat out, the lights are on, nighttime getting close, the Classic getting close, and Bill Knack takes us to our last short break before the big one.
Racetrack life has always been a morning watch. A place that rises in the dark before the sun. A world that comes alive at 5 a.m. when grooms slip from their rooms into the lighted stalls and greet their horses with a word, a nod, pitchforks in hand, beginning their ancient rituals. Bucking out the soil beds of straw, pitching hay and filling water buckets, rubbing copper coats with rag and comb. In this peculiar place, just as the sun comes up, that horse and man call home.
commercial interruptions by Emirates Airline. A look at the current odds. You see the morning line, and to the right, the current odds as Flat Out has been bet down here in America's richest race, the centerpiece of the championship season. Typically the home to major Triple Crown hunting trainers with huge outfits, fancy suits, TV cameras surrounding them. And then there's a simple man named Scooter. Spent a career training and looking for the big one. Just when retirement was calling, he may have found it. Chris Connolly has that story.
Jim, how are you?
He's 70 now, but in 2007, Scooter Dickey had spent 44 years training racehorses, had never saddled a Grade 1 stakes winner, and hardly had any horses to train anymore.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago. I gave up. I got rid of about all of my tack and dispersed everything that I had. I would be more or less what you'd say retired, I guess.
You know, he didn't have many horses. It was probably one of the lower points in his life.
It looked like the end of a horseman's career until 2008, when a Kentucky stable was in sudden need of a trainer, ready to head north ASAP.
We wanted to take these 2-year-olds to Saratoga, so we needed a trainer to go with the horses.
Rich says, well, what's the score to Scooter about that? I said, well, Scooter, who's that? So we go over to Churchill, and like I say, he's got 1 or 2 horses in the barn. I said, Rich, I mean, I don't know about this. He's out in the bush leagues, you know, most of his career, riding and training.
So Scooter Dickey came back to the track and began to train Flat Out.
After he got him, he said, this horse is special. This horse is really, really special.
I never really heard my dad say that too often all the years that I was growing up, you know, but when he got Flat Out, he did. He said that.
We ran in the Smarty Jones stake at Oaklawn, and he won that. Very impressive.
Flat Out has drawn away.
He was the closest I ever had to getting into the Derby.
And they're off in the Southwest.
But an awkward trip out of the gate at Oaklawn Park left Flat Out with persistent injuries that would cost him the better part of 1.5 years of time on the track.
I didn't think that he would ever come back from all of his problems. Usually they don't. Rich just said, well, yeah, I vote for sending him back to Scooter because this horse needs a lot of TLC.
One thing about Scooter, if we send him back to him, he won't miss a pimple on this horse every day that he has him. Scooter's got the morale just like Flat Out. They both have great morale.
I just kept watching Flat Out, hoping he would come back.
Flat Out in a little more than 3 months has risen from obscurity to become one of the early Breeders' Cup Classic favorites.
And then when he came back, oh, it was nice to have him come back.
Flat Out is still in front. Flat Out by 3 coming down to the wire, and Flat Out is gonna do it.
He was just absolutely ecstatic. He couldn't even talk. He was so choked up.
What does this moment represent for you?
I can't talk.
It's just so exciting. I was on cloud 9, so was Scooter.
There's a lot of Scooters out there, you know, that have, man, they've struggled, and most of them didn't make it, but it's all about the horse.
I'm 70. My career's probably about over, but if I ever get another one like him, if it took me 70 years, I'll be pretty old. It's just a joy to get to train one like him.
I find Scooter Dickey to be quite refreshing in this day and age of sports.
Oh, yeah. They call him Scooter since he was an infant, because when he was a baby, he scooted instead of trying to walk. And there are a lot of people at Churchill Downs that hope he scoots his way into the winner's circle today.
And there is Team Rapoli with a group hug there as the familiar orange and blue of the Rapoli Silks with Johnny Velasquez and Javier Castellano. Or could it be this leading lady, Chantel Sutherland, who's trying to make history? She would be the first female to ever win the Classic. The paddock is filled up with the anticipation for the big one as the jocks have taken a leg up, and they will head through that tunnel and out to the track for the post parade. Flat Out 3-1. Rapoli's Uncle Mo at 5-1. Janine is with Mike Rapoli.
Good job of walking, Jack. Where are you going? Just keep going, honey.
And we're going to work our way through the paddock here, guys. But, Mike, I have to ask you, it's been such a long and bumpy road with Uncle Mo since the last time he was here at Churchill Downs. As little as 2 months ago, did you believe he'd be able to make this race?
You know, it was such a long shot, maybe even getting back to the races, never mind this race. And, you know, it's a great comeback story. And, you know, to have Uncle Mo and State Thirst in the same race, it doesn't get any better than this, Janine. I mean, I wish we had another hour and a half to be honest with you. I'm having so much fun.
Good luck, Mike.
Thanks so much.
Seems like he always has fun. Had fun last year with the juvenile, had fun up at Saratoga winning the Travers, and he's got the whole family together to see his 2 3-year-olds here in the Classic. Post Parade is brought to you by Equibase, the Thoroughbred Industries official database for racing and wagering information. We did have a scratch early in the week. That was the #1 prayer for relief after he drew the #1, had a fever, and was ruled out on Tuesday. As you see, the filly Havre de Grace and Friendly Guy in the Cowboy hat, Larry Jones, who you met earlier. So our post parade will start, Randy, with #2, Scooter Dickey's Flat Out.
Yeah, we've told you a lot about Scooter Flat Out. You heard the litany. There he is. You heard the litany of all the injuries the horses had to overcome. So it's a Cinderella story for 2 different reasons. The horse and that guy you're looking at right there, Scooter Dickey.
His wife Dana has been dealing with medical issues, on a list for a transplant. And obviously this would mean the world to so many whose lives they've touched. Scooter Dickey can find a way to the winner's circle with Flat Out and Alex Solis up.
Flat Out won the Jockey Club Gold Cup last time out by 2 1/4 lengths. He won the Suburban earlier this summer, both those races at Belmont Park. There was some question about whether maybe Belmont was his favorite track, but he's been training exceptionally well here at Churchill Downs, and that's put an end to some of those thoughts.
And the 3 is Drosselmeyer. The name comes from the Nutcracker. He was the long shot winner of the 2010 Belmont Stakes, but since that Triple Crown season, he's been searching for his groove. May have found it a bit in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He ran second there. Mike Smith was on Zenyatta a year ago in this post parade, and he returns for a seat on Drosselmeyer.
#4, Ruler on Ice. That's Garrett Gomez in the pink silks of George and Laurie Hall. This horse won the Belmont Stakes in June at odds of 24 3/4 to 1. Right now, 16 to 1. The price on Ruler on Ice.
The 5 is So You Think. First time on dirt, New Zealand bred, who Nick Luck told us was the it horse in Australia. Then he made his way to Europe. Now he takes a shot here in the U.S. debut in the Classic.
#6, Icebox, was second here at Churchill Downs at 1 1/4 in the Kentucky Derby of 2010. Some thought he should have won that race. He was unlucky to lose. He hasn't been back to Churchill Downs since then, but now he returns coming off 6th and 7th place finishes. Come on, man.
Rattlesnake Bridge, gray colt trained by Karen McLaughlin, and 3-time Derby winner Calvin Burrell has the mount on Rattlesnake Bridge.
There's your look at Chantel Sutherland aboard Game On Dude, the expected pace setter. Bob Baffert says the way he explains it with his front runners, it's like a pitcher that throws 100 miles an hour. If you ask him to throw a curveball, they may throw it in the grandstand. This horse has one way to go, and that's to the lead.
Stay Thirsty is the 9. He loved his summer up at Saratoga. He took both the Jim Dandy and the Travers at the spot. Todd Pletcher looking for a win here in the Classic. Javier Castellano did that back in 2004 on Go Zapper.
#10, Havre de Grace. The mare Zenyatta won the Classic in 2009. She just failed in 2010. Could a filly, this 4-year-old filly, now make it Ladies' Day again here at Churchill Downs?
Well, we've had some big long shots so far in this Breeders' Cup, and here's one. The 11 is Headache. Ken and Sarah Ramsey own Headache. He's trying to be a headache for those going after the favorites. He has 3 wins in his last 4 starts, but the one time he stepped up was a 5th in the Whitney.
#12, Uncle Mo, maybe the most brilliant horse in the race, but can he handle a fast-paced 1 1/4? And can he do it when his preparation has been compromised by that liver disease that he had earlier this year? Those are the big questions, but right now he is at 5 to 1 on the board, 3rd choice.
And there is To Honor and Serve. The 13 won the Pennsylvania Derby by 2 1/4 lengths. Was a thought to be Derby horse in May before an injury shelved him. Owned by Charlotte Weber, trained by Bill Mott, and ridden by Jose Lescano. The lights are on for the big one here at Churchill Downs. What a scene it is. Second year in a row we have seen this. Caton Bradar is our reporter on horseback. Kate.
Joe, it's appropriate when the stars of the Breeders' Cup Classic stepped onto the track, the lights became more visible. They've been on for a while, but it's suddenly dark enough that you can really see the shadows on the track. The horses, though, uncompromised by it, didn't seem to notice at all, and they didn't seem to react much to the crowd cheering as they went by. It's warm up and business as usual. Chantal Sutherland on Game On Dude has her game face on. She was just petting her horse, trying to keep him calm, but all on business. Joe?
Biggest moment of her career, trying to be the first female to ever win the Classic. Let's talk a little more about the 5 So You Think. We've been talking all week and prepping for this race. I've been saying, well, he's the X factor, So You Think. First time on dirt.
Yeah, but had a lot of new things for him. He's won 8 Grade 1s and 12 races. He made over $7.5 million, and now they put blinkers on him. That's new. He's also running on dirt for the first time. That's new. He does have LASIK today, which probably helps. But the blinkers make me think that they're going to put him a little closer in the race. However, his breeding, Saddler Wells, his offspring have never been effective on dirt surfaces over here that I can recall.
And then there is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner from a year ago. A Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner has never won the Classic, but Uncle Mo is trying to do that today. Uncle Mo is 5-1.
He ran faster in the Kelso at 1 mile at Belmont Park for that man, Mike Rapoli, than any of these other horses have ever run on dirt. But that was a mile. It was a 1-turn mile. Now he steps up to a 2-turn 1.25 miles. His sire, Indian Charlie, is known for siring milers and not distance horses. Those are his Achilles heels.
And there is Drosselmeyer. Bill Mott trains Drosselmeyer. Of course, Drosselmeyer, we saw Drosselmeyer win the Belmont in 2010. And then recently, he rallied in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and there was new hope for Drosselmeyer.
No, Bill Mott thought he was just a long distance horse. And yes, that was a great race in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He's run at Churchill Downs 1 time. His maiden race, he broke his maiden, he won by 6 lengths. So one thing we do know, he likes the surface.
Here's the other Bill Mott horse, and I'm going to put that term out there because I've heard enough this week that this is starting to trend as one of the wise guy horses. To Honor and Serve.
To Honor and Serve was a brilliant 2-year-old. He started his 3-year-old season on a downer. He had several bad races in a row. Then he's come back to life in his last 2, including a win in the Pennsylvania Derby, and he's going to be an interesting foe, I guess is the right way to put it, to Uncle Mo. Maybe foil to Uncle Mo, because he has a lot of speed. He's to the outside of Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo's going to be chasing Game On Dude, and they may make an Uncle Mo sandwich.
I think he's going to be the thorn in Uncle Mo's side. Yes.
Winners of the Pennsylvania Derby have never won the Breeders' Cup Classic as 3-year-olds. 0-for-7. Kenny and Hank, this is a great betting race here.
Indeed it is, and I think it's Aidan O'Brien's day. He's won with his son. He's won 2 on the card. So You Think, as Jerry points out, with the blinkers, has never been on dirt, but I'm willing to pay for the privilege of seeing if he can run on dirt. A very accomplished horse.
Great betting race means nothing stands out, but flat out, his last 3 races have been good. All Grade 1s, 2 seconds in the first. I think he's really peaked at the right time. And Drosselmeyer, I don't rule out because of Bill Mott and the fact that he likes this racetrack. Remember, Blame, he liked this racetrack too. I'm going to box the 2 of them with Stay Thirsty. I'm going for the bucks. I'm not lying.
And we're going to give away the rest of Hank's money he doesn't use. Just throw it over the rail.
Jay Privman is standing by with 70-year-old Scooter Dickey, looking for the dream to come true.
And Joe, I feel like I've been with the mayor of Louisville. You've shaken more hands up here since anybody running for office.
I got a lot of friends here. A lot of friends.
What are you feeling right now? I mean, this has been a long road for you to get to this point.
I'm ready for him to get in the gate and let's go. I'm ready.
Spoken like a true horseman. Good luck, Scooter.
All right, thank you.
His barn was reduced to just 1 single horse in recent years, and then he was given an opportunity for that horse. Flat Out. Flat Out is now 7-2 as Bob Baffert looks on. Bob Baffert has Game On Dude. Chantel Sutherland has the mount on Game On Dude. And Larry Jones, you see him just to the left there in the cowboy hat with Havre de Grace, and even further down, Aidan O'Brien, who had what a moment he had earlier today on this Breeders' Cup when his son won the turf, his 18-year-old son, and we'll see if So You Think can deliver.
Little Bodie Baffert just enters the picture there with the wave.
He's always around big wins, if you notice, little Bodie Baffert. So the power brokers of horse racing have gathered trackside. The runners are headed to the starting gate. It is the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic with so many big storylines. Jerry, what to look for here?
All right, right up front, we have to look for Game On Dude, number 8, and Game On Dude, Uncle Mo, number 12, and Honor and Serve. If that materializes, if that front-end speed duel materializes, Uncle Mo, I don't think can stay around for the fight at the end. So You Think I'd probably be 4 or 5 lengths off stalking, along with Havre de Grace. Flat Out, probably about 7 or 8 lengths back, because the pace will be quick.
And it has not been a day that has been in any way biased towards speed. So we'll see. We'll get a good look at the fractions. 46 and change for a half mile is probably a pretty realistic expectation here.
46 and 4 to 47 and 2. I think that's what they'll go the first half mile in.
Will it be the filly, Havre de Grace? Will it be the 70-year-old trainer, Scooter Dickey? Will it be history with a female jockey in Chantel Sutherland? Or will Mike Rapoli's comeback with Uncle Mo and the other one, Stay Thirsty, be the ultimate American dream for the son of Italian immigrants? Let's find out in the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. With the call, here's Trevor Denman.
Thanks one final time, Joe. The last few left to load now for the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. On the outside, Uncle Mo has just gone in to Honor and Serve to come to the outside gate, and we'll all be set for the big one of the afternoon. Here comes to Honor and Serve to the outside gate. He goes in, gates closed, they're all set. There's the roar from the crowd. They're on their way in the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Game On Dude got a flyer. But on the outside, Uncle Mo's right up alongside. So Game On Dude and Uncle Mo go on to lead them early. On the extreme outside to Honor and Serve is right there. Stay Thirsty's tucking in right behind him. So You Think got a beautiful spot down on the inside. He's keen to go on. He's pulling hard as So You Think. A length and a half off the leaders. Then we come back to Headache. Now here's Havre de Grace. Havre de Grace is racing back in 7th, but only 4 lengths off the leaders. The pace very honest early. Then we drop back to Flat Out, who's racing at the back of the leading group. Another gap of 4 back to Drosselmeyer, Ruler on Ice, and Icebox. The last 2, they're 11 off the leaders. On to the backstretch they go in the Classic, and Game On Dude at a strong pace. In the second position is Uncle Mo. And on the inside, we have So You Think, a close-up third. The far side to Honor and Serve is in 4th. Stay Thirsty 5th, only 4 lengths off the leaders. Then Havre de Grace, Headache alongside of her. Flat Out is racing back in the 8th spot, 7 off the leaders. Then Drosselmeyer, Ruler on Ice behind that. And last by a long, long way is Rattlesnake Bridge. Rattlesnake Bridge is last. Into the turn they go. Game On Dude taken on by Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo goes looking for the lead to Honor and Serve, makes it 3 in a line. Game On Dude battles back at the rail. Uncle Mo's right there. On the far side to Honor and Serve. So You Think crying out for room. So You Think could be dangerous. Can he get through? He's in the 4th spot. Havre de Grace making her run on the outside. Homeward bound in the Classic. Game On Dude. So You Think gets a run on the inside. Uncle Mo's right there to Honor and Serve in the red cap on the outside. Stay Thirsty. Havre de Grace tries to get involved late, but Game On Dude is just battling them all off. Game On Dude has the lead. Here's Drosselmeyer out of the clouds. Drosselmeyer from nowhere. And Drosselmeyer and Mike Smith have beaten Chantel Sutherland on Game On Dude. Ruler on Ice finishes 3rd, and Havre de Grace was 4th. What a finish to the Classic. It looked like Game On Dude have it, but Mike Smith had other ideas, and Drosselmeyer, like a ghost on the outside in those white colors, caught Game On Dude close home. Drosselmeyer wins.
There's one major storyline we didn't touch on, and you can't believe it. Mike Smith just defeated his ex-girlfriend, Chantel Sutherland. Unbelievable. Mike Smith a year after being beaten at the wire on the great Zenyatta, pulls off a major upset with Drosselmeyer in the Classic.
And only one win for Drosselmeyer since Mike Smith won that Belmont. And I tell you, this horse is like a bicycle. You quit riding, he quits running. Mike Smith has to be one of the fittest jockeys in America, and this horse needs every bit of his strength. Great ride.
Look at Mike Smith. In September, trainer Bill Mott was pointing this horse for the Breeders' Cup Marathon. That's how far down this horse had slipped since winning the Belmont Stakes. But at odds of 8-1 in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, he comes flying to get second. That got Mott to think about running him in the Classic, and look at this.
What a difference a year makes, though. Think about what happened a year ago in this Classic with Zenyatta. Chantel Sutherland gave a great ride. Game On Dude put forth a masterful effort. Trainer Bob Baffert is standing by with Janine.
I'll tell you what, that was the loudest winner's circle I have ever been in. Are you able to speak right now? Because you were screaming for Game On Dude.
Well, the thing is, he looked like he was home free, and I saw Drosselmeyer coming down the middle, and he never got to see him. I wish he would, cut him. And that's the way he thought he had everybody beat. That's the way he ran it. But he ran a great race, and it was, he showed up, and that's all you can ask for.
Game as they come. Thank you, Bob.
Chantal did a great job. I can't believe she got beat by Mike Smith.
Get away from him.
No. Thanks, Bob.
If you know inside horse racing or you watch the reality show Jockeys, then it's been well documented that Mike Smith and Chantel Sutherland were boyfriend and girlfriend, and then they broke up. And there they were, down at the wire. Caton is with Chantel.
Well, Chantel, Bob just said you did a great job, but he can't believe you got beat by Mike Smith. Did you realize it was him?
Yeah, when I looked at the wire and I saw white, I said, you got to be kidding me, Mike Smith. Oh, but I'm very happy for Mike. That's his 15th Breeders' Cup, so, he's a pretty good rider. So to beat me, not too much, I think it's pretty good. I think Game On Dude ran an unbelievable race. Like, when Johnny came up to me, he was never going to pack it in. He fought so hard. And Game On Dude can't really see, how far Mike was out. But I tell you what, this horse will fight against anybody. I love him so much. And every time I asked for more, he gave me more.
It was a game effort. Thank you.
Thank you.
And joining us now at the set is the Breeders' Cup Classic winner, Drosselmeyer. Mike, that was the ultimate battle of the X's, but beyond that, congratulations. You just tied Jerry Bailey for the most wins in Breeders' Cup history with 15.
I really wanted that.
Sorry to make you
last year, man. This is incredible.
Sorry to make you wait, but the girls were talking back there. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Chantel said she looked out there and couldn't believe it was you coming.
Is this redemption for you from last year?
It really is, Jerry. Last year hurt, and it still hurts like anything's ever hurt me before in my life. And for this guy to come back, I want to get to ride him twice, man. The Belmont and the Classic and win them both. It's amazing. Thank the Lord, man. Thank the Lord.
I stated that this horse is like a bicycle. You quit riding, he quits running.
Jerry, that's the whole key to him. Is that once you get him in a forward position, you got to keep him moving. You check 1 second, you got to pedal all over again. So I saved ground the first turn, second turn, and once I got him moving, I just went for it. And, he can run all day. He runs every bit of a mile and a half.
I always looked over at you and wondered if all those weights you were lifting and all that stuff you were doing would pay off, and it certainly did. Congratulations, Mike.
We didn't love you at the end, but we got there, man.
All right.
Congratulations, Mike.
It's an honor to tie you.
What a story. What an upset. Mike Smith, a year after Zenyatta, beaten right at the wire, and standing by with the winning trainer, Bill Mott, is Jay Privman. Jay?
And Bill, you've just pulled off something that John Sheriffs did 3 years ago at Santa Anita, winning the Ladies Classic and the Classic in the same year. Describe what it feels to bring Drosselmeyer back from a horse that many thought might have been over the top.
It's an incredible thrill. I got to tell you, we ran because the horse was doing well. He was coming off his all-time best race this year. His best race last year, of course, with Belmont. We didn't, we're in taking a chance. We knew there'd be a good pace up front, and we knew he'd get the distance. He's just a horse that, he's already won the Belmont at 12 furlongs, and we knew 10 wouldn't be an issue. It's just a matter of if he could get up in time, and, hey, he did it. He's been training well. All our horses have trained well since we've been here for the last month, and, the horse and the rider did it.
So did the trainer, the winningest trainer of all time at Churchill Downs. Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you.
The 4-year-old Drosselmeyer Won the Belmont in 2010 and then really hadn't found himself until just a month ago in the Jockey Club Gold Cup when he rallied to finish second. Look at how he pulled this off, Jerry. A thriller.
Way back early and you know, kind of like Zenyatta, angle him to the middle of the track, which today probably is the better part of it. But he came with that patented run. Very talented horse, and you know, give Bill Mott a lot of credit too for managing this horse very, very well.
Mike Smith wearing the silks of WinStar Farm, the owners of the 2010 Kentucky Derby winner, Super Saver, the same year Drosselmeyer won the Belmont.
Bill Mott, the Hall of Fame trainer who had Cigar, now has Drosselmeyer in the Breeders' Cup Classic with Mike Smith up. The presentation when we return.